Welcome to Bible Crafts for Kids. Today we start a new series, Miracles of Jesus. This series takes you from today's miracle, Jesus turns water into wine, to the last miracle Jesus performed when he fed the disciples on the beach. Each of the 37 miracles contain a 2-page lesson with the corresponding Create a page, which comes with illustrated instructions. These lessons and paper crafts are free for your personal use at Bible Crafts for Kids on the drop-down menu. Each Create a page in this series are different. They are like a puzzle and they move, and each page has 5 labels: a series label, the number of the lesson and Create a page label, a Bible passage label, a key verse label, and last but not least, a words to live by, which is the ministry principle of the lesson. We also provide a corresponding memory verse card for your students to take home. As a teacher, you print as many as you need for your students. How much preparation for the teacher depends on the age of the students. A teacher who has kindergarten may want to cut the labels and apply double stick tape. A teacher of high school students may print the labels and let the students cut the labels and apply with wet glue. However you choose, the Create a pages are fitted to a 15-minute class time. The basic tools you will need for the Create a page paper crafts are simply scissors and glue. However, there are many tools on the market for cutting paper, as well as many types of adhesive. As you print the Create a pages, you will notice that we have placed multiple sets on one page. This helps conserve paper. We've also placed the labels on the page to ease your paper cutting, which I will show you in the video. One more thing before we start the video, and you're going to like this. Remember, they're free. The lessons and the Create a pages are free for your personal use. Just download the pages and the full color instructions and lessons at BibleCraftsForKids.com. So let's get started with today's Create a page. Jesus turns water into wine. It's a cute page with the illusion of the water pot pouring wine into the cup for the head waiter. So download your lessons and Create a page at BibleCraftsForKids.com and print the instructions and labels, as well as the water pot and wine glasses coloring page. In addition to this, you will need a 12 by 12 piece of paper, a brad, and something to punch the holes in the base page. A safety pin or a needle will do. It's also handy to have a foam sheet to aid in punching the holes. Your students will need markers or crayons to color the wine glass and the water pot. I always try to use double-sided paper. That way the students have a choice of which side they would like to use as their base. Let's start by cutting our 12 by 12 sheet. All the Create a pages are based on a 6 by 6 inch format. Today we're going to cut the 12 by 12 into 4 equal squares. Other pages may use half the 12 by 12 sheets, or even the full sheet, which when folded will make the 6-inch base. All of the Create a pages are also formatted to allow for punching holes in one side to make booklets. You can choose your binding system and punch your holes accordingly. So let's cut our paper into a 6-inch square. All of the pages may simply be cut and assembled with the scissors and glue, but in our videos we use a paper trimmer and double stick tape. Let's continue making our student kits by cutting the labels. On the labels page, we have put as many sets of labels that we could fit on the page. Today's label contained 3 sets. Other pages may contain 1 or 2 sets. We've tried to make this as simple as we can for the teachers. Another example of this is the way we put the labels together. So one cut cuts the side of 2 labels, which cuts your cutting time in half. Start your cutting by cutting all of the outside edges. Now for our cutting, we're going to look for the longest lines. Okay, this line stops here. However, this line goes all the way to the outside edge. So that would be our longest line. Now is the time that you'll want to use double stick tape. If you use double stick tape instead of wet glue, to go ahead and apply it to the back of your pages. I just kind of eyeball where I think the tape is needed. But you can also use a light table, and it shows right through them. Well, I say that depending on your paperwork, the type of paper that you have chosen to use. Then, again, look for your longest line. Then we're going to start cutting them apart. Using that longest line helps you to make the longest cuts possible, and which cuts your time down for cutting. Your labels are going to consist of the Miracles of Jesus series label, the title of the lesson label, the passage label. If there are more than one passage, it will show on this label. Then you have the main characters label, the key verse label, and the words to live by. Now let's work on our coloring page. Each student will get a coloring page, and we will cut out 1 wine glass and 1 water pot. Now, after we cut out our wine glass and our water pot, we're going to want to put a hole in this little dot. So what I do is I use a foam sheet, a safety pin, and I simply just poke a hole in that area. Now, on your base page, this is going to align to the bottom right corner. And so we're going to want to punch that hole all the way through the base, because that is where the bread is going to go on our finished page. After we cut the water pot and the wine glass, we're going to put some double stick tape on the wine glass. So that concludes our kit. So our kit consists of the base page, the wine glass, the coloring pot, and the 5 labels, as well as a brad to put it together. I try to put all of these in a type of baggie. Ziploc bags work great, or there are all types of cellophane bags. That way, when I hand them out, they have everything they need to put this craft together. Now, let's assemble our kit. The first step we'd like to do is we'd like to color our wine glass and our water pot. I'm simply going to do some squiggles, but the children may do far more coloring than I'm doing here. After your coloring is done, we're going to start with the base page. Now the base page, remember we had that hole which we punched in there. We're going to align the two holes and we're going to put the brad through both of the holes. And this aligns your water pot at the very corner of your base page. Now we're going to move the water pot out of the way and we're going to attach our water glass. Now sometimes the tape does not want, the release paper does not want to come off of the tape very well, so simply remind your kids to push the tape all the way down, the paper all the way down, and that helps release it. Then we're going to place the water pot directly underneath, or the wine glass directly under the water pot. If you will notice, as you move the water pot, it gives the illusion of the water pot filling the glass. Now to adhere our labels, we're going to start with the Miracles of Jesus, which is the series title. And then we're going to put our lesson title, which is Jesus Turns Water into Wine. Now the kids normally know what you're going to do here now. You're just going to attach the labels. So they will go ahead of you and they will put the labels wherever they want. I've had some kids even put the labels on the back side, which is entirely okay. Next we'll put our passage label and then our main character's label, aligning them to the outside edge. All is left is our key verse label and our words to live by label. Now, if you are going to put your pages in a booklet, you're going to have to move the labels over in order to put your holes or your binding holes into the left-hand side. And that is number 1, Jesus Turns Water into Wine. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, these creative pages and lessons are free at BibleCraftsForKids.com. Our next miracle of Jesus is number 2, Jesus Heals an Official Son. We hope to see you there.